Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Come on, come on. Woo. Right. For this recipe, you're gonna need cheese. I'm just using a great value brand Italian style cheese and Colby Jack. A box of lasagna noodles. About a pound of ground beef or ground chuck, whatever you choose. Use a little bit more meat if you want to. I'm using a can of tomato sauce. That is a, 15-ounce can. A jar of marinara sauce or whatever type of pasta sauce you choose to use. Some cayenne pepper. Spice it up a little bit. Some ground cinnamon. Some Italian seasoning spices. Some paprika. Black pepper. And a little bit of salt. I'm also adding in some cut onion and green pepper. And the reason why I chose sauce, pasta sauce, is because it already has additional herbs and also some garlic in there, because I don't have any fresh garlic. And I like this sauce because no preservatives, gluten-free, and it is kosher. So let's get started. And don't forget your ricotta cheese and just a little bit of sugar to cut the acidity and add a little bit of sweetness to your sauce. So right now I'm browning my ground chuck, and ground chuck has little to no fat content, so there's not really a lot of oil that you're going to have to strain off. And while this is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and add up some cut green bell peppers and onions that I had in the freezer. Not much, just a little bit. Adds a little bit more dimension to the flavor and a little bit of a crunch. For those who don't really like vegetables like that, you can leave that out or add in some onion powder or whatever you choose for your recipe. I just like to add in the fresh cut veggies. Sometimes I even add in like carrots or broccoli or spinach, but this time it's just some peppers and onions. So I'm going to let that brown up. And while that's browning up, I'm going to go ahead and start my noodles so they'll be ready, and also start my sauce. So let's get started cooking. This is going to be quick, this is going to be easy, and this is going to be tasty. So to my sauce pot, I have a can of tomato sauce. Gonna mix that in as well. And as you can see, I use marinara sauce, so that does have herbs and little tomato chunks and all that goodness in there. I'm gonna add in some spices. So again, that is Italian seasoning. That's a little bit of cinnamon in there. I'm gonna put in some sugar to cut that acidity. Some paprika, give that a little smoky flavor. Just a little bit. One thing about seasoning, you add a little and then you build. Some black pepper. I like black pepper, so I'm kind of heavy-handed on it. A little bit of cayenne. That is just going to give it a tiny bit of a kick. Like literally, just a little. And a little bit of salt. A little bit of salt, because you want to balance out those flavors. You want to go ahead and give that a stir. And guys, if you are making any type of tomato-based sauce, try and invest in some wooden spoons. Look at that. Because I make my sauce the same way, I'm not really going to taste it right now. I'm just going to leave that alone and let it simmer for a little bit while I clean up my mess. Look at this. Yeah, I gotta clean up my mess. So my meat is just about done. My noodles are about to boil. So to this sauce, I added in my herbs, and I'm getting ready to add my meat. Lasagna has always been my favorite go-to pasta meal because it could be a very filling meal. It's like a comfort food. It's like Italian comfort food that, of course, that we have Americanized. But yeah. What's your favorite one? Let me know in the comments down below. And also let me know if you plan to follow my recipe and how you want to tweak it or make it better, or if you did exactly what I did and how you thought it turned out. Oh, by the way, I'm using what are these? These are the oven ready lasagna noodles, Columbia brand. Got them from the Dollar Tree because grocery stores are tripping. They wanted like $3 for noodles, and I was not going to pay $3 for lasagna noodles. And yes, I am boiling oven ready noodles because I don't exactly agree with the concept of putting raw dry noodles in the oven. Just boil them. Make them to where they're almost al dente and you'll be fine. My meat is done. And as you can see, guys, remember I told you that you don't really have to worry about draining this meat because it is ground chuck. A lot of people like to add turkey and ground beef. Yep. And just about running. Like I said, I'm gonna let my sauce simmer for a little while, and then I'm going to add my meat to it. I made this because I want some freezer meals, so it's a part of my meal prep for the week. It's Tuesday. I should have made it yesterday, but I just really didn't get around to it. And this should yield me at least 12 slices. So that's basically 12 meals. You do it in the math. Duh. And I probably won't make another pan of lasagna until probably the end of January or beginning of February, because this is going to be something I can just pull out the freezer whenever I feel like having a slice or two with a salad or with some broccoli or, you know, some other type of vegetable. But anyhow, I'm running my mouth. Let me go check the sauce. So as you see, I've added my sauce to my meat, and basically, guys, that is really it. I'm getting ready to go ahead and assemble the lasagna, and I'll let you know how it was layered. But look at this. It's nice and saucy. I like my sauce saucy. I actually still have a little bit of sauce left over in this pan, so I'm going to let that cool off. I'm getting ready to layer this. And if you guys can smell this right now, it's like, I think it's perfect. I'm telling you guys, go ahead and add that little pinch of cinnamon and cayenne to your sauce. But yeah, let's go ahead and layer this. Okay, so before you layer, you want to also make sure that you mix your ricotta. bottom layer, guys, make sure that you're putting sauce on the bottom layer. That way your noodles are not sticking and you're still getting some flavor down there. You just want to put a little bit of sauce down there. Not much, just a little bit on the bottom. Make sure that bottom layer has a little bit of sauce before. That's enough. And we're doing a 3-layer today. So put these noodles down. And some people, they want to make them all perfect, you know. They want to cut their noodles and measure them out and all that. I'm just gonna lay my noodles out. And the third one. As I said, they don't have to be perfect. Just lay them out. This is the bottom layer, so. That one does not want to behave at all, but it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna come back in with meat sauce again. Now, mind you guys, I only used a pound of meat. So if you want more meat, then by all means, just make more sauce with more meat. Just want to make sure that you're covering all your noodles. The easiest way I found to get the ricotta on there is to just put dollops of it, and then you're gonna like kind of pat it in there. Don't really have to have a full even layer of ricotta cheese. If it's your preference to make it a full even smooth layer, then do that. I just want a layer of ricotta. So you want to spread that in there. This is by far the only really difficult part of making lasagna, if you want to call it difficult. And that's spreading the ricotta. But remember, it is cheese, so it will melt into that layer. Now you want to add your cheese. Be as generous as you want with the cheese. I'm putting the Colby and Monterey Jack cheese on this layer. Just like that. And then it's time for another layer of noodles. One layer, and now we're going to come in with the meat sauce again. And remember again, you're going to be as generous with your ingredients as you want to. There is no real wrong way to layer lasagna, in my opinion, as long as your layers have all the ingredients. As long as you have your noodles, your cheese, and your meat. see I put a little bit more meat on this layer because the last little bit of meat sauce, I guess you could say, I'm going to put on the top. So that's my second layer. And actually I could probably put a little bit more on that layer. And that's also where it comes in handy when you have a little bit extra sauce, because you can sauce it up. You don't want a dry lasagna. That's one thing you don't want. So you can never really have too much sauce. And that looks great. So I decided to spread out the final layer of ricotta off camera to make sure that I got it on there all the way, because I used up the rest of the ricotta. Ricotta is really only going to take up 2 layers depending on how much you got. So on this layer I'm going to put the Kobe and Monterey Jack, cheese, and mozzarella cheese, because I want this layer to be ooey and gooey. Just cheese it up. So I also like to use the fresh mozzarella whenever I can find it on sale. In the it's usually in the deli department of your grocery store or specialty store. So whenever I find that, I do like to use it. You do have to cut it yourself a lot of times, but you will see a big difference in your lasagna. So we've done that. We want to go in and put in the final layer of noodles. And you guys, you'll see that I have a little bit of sauce on my noodles because I had them sitting like halfway on my other pan that I have a sauce on. So excuse that. So that's going to be your final layer of noodles. We have 3 layers of noodles. And now we're going to put the last of the meat sauce. Get all of that goodness in there. Let me grab a spoon so I could get the rest of that in there. And we're basically just going to spread that sauce all over the top layer. Don't worry about if you ran out of meat at this point. As long as you got all the meat that you cooked in there. That's all that matters. Make sure you are scraping that pan, guys. I got a little bit more sauce coming out of there. All of that goodness. So now we are going to go in and, yes, more cheese. More cheese, more cheese, more cheese. It's at this point where you could just basically go ham with the cheese. Go ahead and put your cheese on. Spread that out a little bit. You could dump it like I did, or, you know, you could be a little bit more, you know, precise in how you put that on there. So I basically used up an 8-ounce bag of shredded cheese, of mozzarella, well, the Italian blend cheese rather, which also has, what is it? Mozzarella, provolone, Parmesan, Romano, and Fontina, and Asiago cheese in there. And I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle just a little handful of the other cheese mix. And that's just because I just want to. And basically, that is really it. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of Italian seasoning. and just sprinkle a little bit of that on top, and also a little bit of pepper on the top. And basically, that is what your lasagna is going to look like before you put it in the oven. We're going to cover this with foil. Let me get that cheese back in there. Cover that with foil. And like I said, you're going to put it in a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. And then you're going to uncover it and put it in the oven for about an additional 15 minutes, or until your cheese gets a little bit brown on top. So we'll be back after that. Okay, let's see how this is doing. Oh, I should take this part off first. Oh, perfect. So it has been in there for 45 minutes. Ooh, trying not to get all of the cheese off. If you take a little bit of cheese off, guys, that is perfectly fine. You see how that is? Your lasagna is basically done. So we want to put this in the oven for another 10-15 minutes. We want to brown that top real good. And then we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes until we cut it. It's time. So I'm gonna let this cool off, and then we're gonna cut into it so we can see what it looks like inside. Ooh, I can't wait to taste this. This looks so good, guys. Okay guys, so I can't wait. I am about to dig into this delicious looking lasagna right now. I'm gonna use a knife to cut through that. Excuse me. Through that. Gonna get a nice little chunk out. Ooh, that's gonna be juicy. Now mind you, I didn't really let it sit like it should have because I just want a piece right now. But boy oh boy, after this bad boy sits, it's gonna be so delicious. Let's see. Let's see if I can get this out in one piece. How about that? Ew. I'm trying to do this with one hand, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Come on, come on. Woo! Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Ooh. Look at that cheesiness. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. That's what's up. Look at that. Look at those gooey layers. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at that. I'm getting this little piece of meat too. Get that out of there. And I'm gonna eat this. I didn't even warm myself up any vegetables or anything. I'm just gonna eat this. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I'm gonna taste this for you guys. Let's see. Let's see if I get some of this noodle. I want some of everything. Look at that cheese, guys. You see this? Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so hot. I know I'm gonna burn myself. Yep. Yep. That's the one. Yep. So anyhow, before I become a greedy butt, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys try my recipe out. Like and comment on this video, and please do subscribe if you are not yet subscribed to my channel. Hit the subscription button below so that you can join me on this journey I call life. Until then, have a beautiful life and a beautiful day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.